Hey everybody, welcome back to Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. Real important issues that we're going to talk a couple of segments about. And obviously, after recovering from Hurricane Ida, a lot of folks are just wondering what can we do next. Don't have a title that's clear, trying to fix up your homes. Maybe help is on the way if you stay tuned for the next couple of segments. So joining us is Jonathan Reynolds. He's Ayers Property staff attorney for Louisiana Appleseed, and Sylvaria Gums, Solaria, I'm so sorry, managing attorney in Houma for the Southeast Louisiana Legal Services. Y'all have 6 offices all over the state. So let's talk a little bit about this. These are issues that people just have been wrecked by the storm, don't know where to turn, can't deal with FEMA, can't do. So where do you guys come in?
Well, specifically when people have folks with FEMA, Southeast Louisiana Legal Services, they have a ton of programs. Maybe you want to tell them about it, Ms. Gomes?
Yes, we do have some disaster grants where we have people that we've hired to assist those people who are having problems with FEMA, specifically FEMA. We also help with some contractor fraud cases and just help them navigate the whole FEMA process. Some of them need to have FEMA appeals done. Some of them have problems with proving their identity, and we handle a wide variety, a myriad of cases as far as disaster is concerned, disaster recovery.
So I think I know this question, but how big of an issue is this? I mean, how widespread is it?
Well, it's massive, and it's a thing that's going to be reoccurring. Because I believe that Appleseed and Southeast Louisiana Legal Services, we first partnered together over a decade ago on issues like this.
Yes.
And so it's a thing that's going to be constantly reoccurring. But just Hurricane Ida alone, I've been down to Houma, I've been down to John Lafitte, been a few other places. It is massive. And it's a wide area part of the state. And then the actual specific legal issues is people are in a bit of a disarray, and it's hard to find lawyers in general. It's definitely hard to find affordable lawyers. And then on top of that, it's almost impossible to find affordable lawyers who are knowledgeable about these specific issues. And that's one of the beautiful things about Southeast Louisiana Legal Services is they have lawyers where this is all they do. This is the only thing they do. This is their specialty. This is their lifeblood. This is their oxygen. So, yeah.
Ms. Gums, so if I come to you and say, I'm in this property, but I don't have a clear title. It might have been handed down a couple of generations, right? And we didn't do a succession. So is that a common thing that happens?
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about that process and how can you help those people?
Okay, well, first of all, we are a private nonprofit law firm that represents lower income persons and seniors in civil legal matters. So the first thing we'd have to do is screen that person for eligibility to make sure that they qualify either financially or over 60. Yeah, as he said with the grant, that's through the AARP. And then once we screen that person for eligibility and make sure that person is not a conflict, then we'll open an application on that person and we'll interview them and find out exactly what it is they need, because some people may only need what's called a small succession affidavit in lieu of actually filing the petition for possession. And that's something that Appleseed had lobbied the legislature for and advocated for some time after Katrina, because there were so many people that it was just cost prohibitive to open up a succession. So there's now the small succession affidavit where if the succession is less than $125,000 and the person that passed away did not leave a will, we could file what's known as an affidavit of small succession in lieu of a judgment of possession, and it's a lot less expensive because at that point we did not have grants that would pay the court cost. Now there's a grant that pays the court cost.
So a lot of folks don't know, and they'll go to FEMA, and FEMA goes, we can't deal with this, right? If you don't have a clear succession or a clear title.
Yeah, absolutely. That happens a lot. Like, we encounter people. One of the most interesting things are even the state agencies, the local assessor. We've talked to local assessors and we tell them about it, local parish clerks, and they don't know about it. And this is a thing where it's one thing to have the lawyers paid for, but then a lot of times folks still can't pay for the actual court fees. But we're covering both of these things. And I'm so glad that you have us here to talk about this.
Yeah.
Well, so, but once you do that, this also clears it up going forward, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's just something that wouldn't happen, so.
Yeah, it's like we've encountered, families where it might be 2-3 generations deep where the title hasn't been cleared. So obviously those take a little bit longer to clear, but once they're cleared, and now that the family is aware of things that they need to do to keep it clear, yes, it alleviates the problem going forward.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can see how that can happen, right? You know, you inherit a house, you live there, and then you just stay there, right? And then the next generation or whatever, you can see how that happens for sure. Now, you do have a lot of different legal avenues that people can go through, right? It's not just for Hurricane Ida. There's a lot of different things. So you said with 6 offices in Southeast Louisiana, y'all do a lot of different services, though.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah. And I'm sorry, we'll get into that next time.
Okay.
I don't want to get you to start talking and have to talk to you. But so how can people contact you guys before we go to a break?
Well, specifically for the disaster title clearing project, you can go to Southeast Louisiana Legal Services website, www.sLLS.org, and you can find them for all their things through their website. But we have a hotline specifically for the disaster title clearing project, and that's 833-526-4800.
Yeah.
And give that a call, and we'll get you signed up.
You guys are working together in conjunction. You don't work in exactly the same way, but it's a great partnership. So tell me a little bit, Jonathan, about what you guys do with the air property and how y'all have been able to connect with Southeast.
Well, heirs property it's a scenario where your grandparents might have died, your parents might have died, and now a bunch of you and your relatives own the property together. It causes problems in that when you own property in this way, it's difficult to sell the property. But even in issues like we talked about in the natural disaster context, it's difficult to even prove that you own the property to get funding. It's even difficult to get insurance in these issues. So we train other lawyers on how to deal with issues of heirs property. We also provide support as far as helping Southeast Louisiana Legal Services advertise issues like this, and that's the biggest thing we do right now.
Yeah, so Ms. Gumbs, so you guys provide quite a bit of services for folks. Right now, I'm sure a lot of it has been Ida related and those kind of things, but you have 6 different agencies around Southeast Louisiana that help with a variety to help with a lot of people at low income and free services.
Yes. Well, we have 6 offices. Each office handles a different geographical area. The home office, which is located at 521 Roussel Street, handles cases and services those people that live in Terrebonne, Lafourche, and Assumption parishes. And we provide, as I said before, a wide variety of services. We provide services for the victims of domestic violence. We've actually partnered with the Haven, where we get referrals of those survivors of domestic violence from the Haven. We represent those persons with whatever legal needs, civil legal needs they have that are related to the domestic violence, such as child custody, protective orders, divorces, sometimes even evictions. We also handle housing issues. We had a large number of people that came to us during the COVID pandemic for evictions, and the landlords weren't actually honoring the moratorium. So that's a big part of our services. We also handle public benefits, such as unemployment compensation, SNAP benefits, Medicaid benefits, Social Security and SSI, the public service people that for employment problems. We also handle what's called a Child in Need of Care program, where we help those children that are in foster care. Those are court appointments. Any time a child is taken into foster care, the court appoints Southeast Louisiana Legal Services to represent the interests of those children. We also handle consumer issues such as bankruptcy or collections. We have a foreclosure prevention unit where we help those homeowners who are facing foreclosure to try to either get maybe a loan modification, or if they want to have a short sale or something of that nature. We recently, in some of our offices, actually started an eviction diversion program because the need for this became readily, noticeable after the COVID pandemic struck, where we had so many people that were facing evictions. So that's some of the services that we handle.
Yeah, so we went from a pandemic right into a real crisis, obviously, with Ida, and so obviously you don't see folks at their best times, right? They're in a time of need and they don't know where to turn a lot of times. Now, this particular program with Hurricane Ida and looking at that, AARP is one of the big foundation and one of the grants, and obviously y'all, I'm sure, apply for grants and that kind of stuff that help out with the cost of all. That's why all is free, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We are pretty much 100% grant funded, right?
Yes.
Pretty much both organizations. So yeah, that's how we're able to afford to pay the lawyers and to pay these court costs.
Yeah, so that's big. That's big for these folks, because these aren't people that just have a lawyer on speed dial, right? I mean, these are people that maybe last resort, hey, I need help, and they come in and you guys can help out.
Yeah, well, our major fund, we have two major funders, which is the LSC Corporation in Washington, D.C., and the Louisiana Bar Foundation through an IOTA grant. We also have other partners. We actually have a partnership with Terrebonne Parish. Terrebonne Parish has given us a grant. We partner with the local Council on Aging programs. We also partner with the United Way of Southeast Louisiana. We have quite a few.
Yeah, so that's a great way. And again, like I say, you don't see everybody at their best, but hopefully you can get them back on their feet and get their titles cleared, which is, again, a big issue after Hurricane Ida. So let's talk about how they can get in contact with you guys.
They can get in contact with us through our website. To do an application online, they can call the disaster number. They could call the local offices. Our local office number is area code 985-851-5687, or they could come to the office, which is located at 521 Roussel Street.
Okay, and there's a toll-free number, 833. You want to get that one?
Yeah, 833-526-4800. But any avenue that you contact Southeast Louisiana Legal Services through, because a lot of people have more than just one issue. A lot of people, they might be calling for 4 or 5 different things, but they'll get you sorted out and sent to the unit that you need to be sent to, regardless of how you contact them.
So a lot of help available if you call or go online on those issues. So Mr. Reynolds, Ms. Gumbs, thank you guys so much for being with us. A great provided resource for our community. We'll be right back with more Bite Time right after this.